Hola! Hi. For those of you who don't know me, I am Barry. I'm Kara's husband, and she's asked me to do her intro for today. Today she's going to be talking about the Glamlite Viva Taco Palette. My first impressions of this wonderful, lovely palette. It's pretty. There are colors. It probably goes on your face somewhere. And it's shaped like a taco, which is great for anybody who likes tacos and makeup, I guess. So that's it, folks. Hope you like and subscribe to the video, and tune in to see the next edition of What's on Kara's Face. The fuck am I thinking?
I'm having a bit of an internal struggle here because I know that Barry has filmed an intro. He volunteered to do that. I did not ask him to. He volunteered. That is lovely. I love that he's getting involved. I don't know what he said. So I'm trying to decide if I film a backup intro in case his is terrible, or if I just trust that my husband has done a good job. I'm just gonna trust him. Let's just go right ahead. Obviously, we're talking about the taco palette. So this is the third food-inspired palette from Glamlite. It is $38 US on their website. Website? Come on. It is $38 US on their website, and they also have Afterpay available, so you can break that up into 4 installments. I believe in most cases that I've found it anyways, Afterpay is only available to US residents, but I haven't tried it on this one, so I can't say whether or not that's the case here. The palette is cruelty-free and vegan. It also says that it's allergy tested. It said that on the burger palette as well, and I wasn't quite sure what that meant because it doesn't say that it's hypoallergenic, so take from that what you will. I still don't know the answer to that. It says that it has an 18-month shelf life and the expiration date is 2022 on this particular palette. So obviously 2022 is a little bit further out than 18 months, so I'm not sure if it's just once it's opened up, then the clocks are, it doesn't matter. It's an eyeshadow palette. I tend to laugh in the face of expiration dates, especially when it comes to powder products. So let's just dive right into it. I guess the other thing is that, the palette is assembled in the US, but it is made in China. So inside, that food theme carries right on over, and then there is the palette there. I do appreciate that this palette is smaller than their previous ones. For example, the pizza palette is gigantic, and this one is about half of its size, maybe just a little bit less. On the back, it does caution you not to eat it. Good to know. Alright, so you open it up and it does have a mirror. It is cardboard packaging, and then all of the shades are located over here. So like I said, there are 15 in there, and you do get a mix of mattes and shimmery shadows. And it's a fairly even spread. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes and 8 shimmery shadows. There are no glittery shades or any toppers in here. They are just straight metallic shimmer shadows. It was entirely the colors in this palette that sucked me in. After I bought the pizza palette, I was done with buying food-inspired palettes. I didn't want any more. I didn't want to have to store them. But damn it if the Glamlite formula is not fantastic. So here we are, 3 gigantic food palettes later. And they've just released 2 new pizza slice palettes. I'm trying very hard not to order those as well, because one is all like green themed and the other one is all pink themed, and yes please to both. Anyways, we're here to talk about taco. So the colors are what sucked me in, but now that I have it in hand, I have a hard time figuring out what to do with it, to be perfectly honest. And that has nothing to do, sorry, I've got a cat hair on me. I still have it. Where the hell are you? Has nothing to do with the quality of the shadows, has nothing to do with how they swatch, how they perform, how they blend, nothing to do with that, and 100% to do with my own creativity. I did do a green and purple look, which I'll just insert a picture of over here. and I quite like how that one turned out. So it's just a matter of pushing my own boundaries and really getting creative with it. For today's purposes, obviously I don't have any eyeshadow on right now. That hair is still on my lip. Good Lord. Sorry. We're gonna get into it, and I'm probably just gonna go with a really brown look is what I'm thinking, like the Carnitas shade here. I'm thinking all over the lid, buffed out with a bit of this one up here, which is called Polo. Nothing too extravagant or exciting, but I want to see how the browns perform, because when I get palettes like this, I gravitate towards like the greens and the purples and the brighter shades, and then the browns are tend to be neglected. So I think that's what I'm going to play with for today's video. So there's not much else to say. I will do some swatches. I'll put them up, and then we'll go straight into the eye look. Here we go. All right, so my camera has now turned off on me 3 times while trying to film these swatches. So I don't know if it actually filmed them all. I'm not going to wash it all off and start again because my kids are now home and you can probably hear them in the background. So just for the sake of having the names for you, I'm just going to go through them once more in case it didn't record. So over here we have onions, followed by Mexican cheese. This metallic purple is radishes. Soft matte brown is Polo. The lighter matte green is guacamole. The dark green metallic is cilantro. The darker matte green is lime. This metallic purpley brown is Carnitas. Pico de Gallo is a metallic orangey red. Salsa Roja is a deep matte red. I shouldn't say deep, it's a true matte red. Deep matte purple is red cabbage. Pickled carrots, probably my favorite color in the palette. It's this bright, vibrant reddish shade. There's a metallic pinky red, which is called El Pastor. Salsa Verde is a gorgeous metallic olive shade. And then a deep matte brown, which is Carne Asada. All right, so now that we've got them swatched, let's move right on into the eye look. Okay, so I've already primed my eyes, and I'm going to start off by going into that Polo shade here and just picking up a small amount and putting that into the crease and blending it upwards. So as you can see, the shades do blend out really nicely. It does kick up quite a bit in the pan, so I'll show you up close here. You can see that it's kind of moved over onto that green one as well. Focus, there we go. So I'm not upset about it, to be honest, because it doesn't fall down onto my cheeks, and then when you tap off the excess, it doesn't just disappear completely off the brush. Just blow it and it's gone. A lot of matte shadows do that. I find if they are very pigmented, they do kick up a lot of in the pan. Dust, you know what I mean. So I'm not really offended by that. ABH are like notorious for doing that. It doesn't mean that it's a crappy powder. It doesn't mean that it's a bad eyeshadow. It just, to me, it means that there's a lot of pigment in there. Nonetheless, the results speak for themselves. It is quite pigmented. It does blend out easily, so I don't have complaints about it. All right. Like I said, I'm just going to play with the browns today, and then an inner corner highlight we'll deal with, but I am just going to put Carnitas, this dark purpley brown shade, all over the lid, and I'm going to use a MAC 217 to do that. I'm going to go in without setting spray first just to see how it performs just on its own. If I need to build it up from there, then I'll do another layer. Okay, so that is a very pretty color, but I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but there is a lot of fallout. So I'm going to do it again on the other eye, but I'm going to tap off that excess even more to get the fallout off of my face. I'm going to use my under eye setting brush and just kind of flick it up really lightly. Okay, so let's try this on the other eye and see if I can avoid that fallout situation. There's still lots of pigment on the brush, if my camera will ever stop focusing on me. Dear God. There we go. So there's still a lot of pigment there. And like I said, I can always build it up, so. So that did the trick. I don't have any fallout down here. I think also spraying it with the setting spray would reduce the fallout as well. So a little bit of a learning curve, but no harm, no foul. Now I'm going to blend the crease with just a clean brush. This one's from Zoeva and it is the 228 Luxe Crease Brush. So I just don't want any harsh lines in there. For my lower lash line, I'm going to go into this dark brown shade here called Carne Asada. I'm not familiar with what that is. Something to do with meat is my guess. Because that one's nice and dark, I'm also going to take a little bit and just put it on the outer corner on my upper lid, just to tie it all in. Just to soften up that lower lash line, I'm going to go back into that lighter brown shade again. This was just that Zoeva brush I used. Pick up a little bit of it, tap off the excess, and just buff out that lower lash line. For the inner corner, I'm going to just play it safe. I thought about using the gold, this shade here, but I'm just going to go over to this one here. And then with what's left over, I'm just going to run that underneath the brow bone. Easy peasy look, but I wanted to test out those browns, and I'm happy that I did because they're quite nice. This shade on my lid isn't truly brown, but not truly purple. It's like a hybrid of the two. It's quite unique to what I actually have in my collection that I can at least immediately bring to mind. And that dark brown blends out with no problem whatsoever. So I'm very happy with the shadows in this palette. I can say that with that green and purple look that I showed before, again, I had no issues blending those out. So let me, I'm gonna finish up, do eyeliner, mascara, and throw some lipstick on off camera, and then I will come back and show you the finished look and wrap this video up. Alright guys, so there is the final look. On my lips I have Ashton from ABH, so I've got a bit of a brown monochromatic thing going on, but honestly I'm not mad at it. I like how it turned out. So, final thoughts. I stinkin' love the Glamlite formula. Love it. The packaging, pain in the butt to store. That would be abundantly obvious just looking at the size of it. Cute as hell, like truly cute as hell, quite inspired. I do like the backstory as to why the owner has released all of these food related items. In one of her Instagram posts she was saying how at, I think she was age 17, she was wearing a bright lipstick, and one of her friends came up to her and said, you know, you should probably just stick to neutral lipsticks so that you don't draw attention to your face. With friends like that, who needs enemies? So she has faced a lot of that throughout her life, and she is basically reclaiming it. And so putting out pizza palettes and burger palettes and just palettes based on foods that she enjoys eating is her way of regaining her power and basically giving the middle finger to those people who say crappy comments just based on her weight. So power to her. I'm in full support of that. I really, really do like the palettes that I have tried. The pizza palette, I have made no secret of the fact that I just have a really hard time accessing it because it's set out in a circle and my brain is just not wired to appreciate that. I need to just let my creativity out and really just let it stretch its legs, and then I think this palette is going to become a favorite of mine because individually each shade performs beautifully and each color is gorgeous in and of itself. I just have to figure out how to pair them together, and that can really just be all about playing and experimenting, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and the same can be said of any number of colorful eyeshadow palettes. So that is not a strike against this palette in particular. That is just me saying I don't really know what to do with this. If you guys have suggestions on color combinations, feel free to leave them down below. But overall, I really do like the palette. The quality is there. I have no complaints about the quality. So those are my thoughts. You've seen the swatches, you've seen one eye look. Is this a palette that you would be interested in or not? Let me know. She's done burger, pizza, and taco. Just for shits and giggles, what do you think will be coming out next? Maybe she'll dive into like desserts or something. Maybe like a pie palette and have like cherry and blueberry and strawberry rhubarb and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? If she does, I want some royalties. But anyways, I'm gonna cut it off there. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now, guys.
Surprise! Today we're going to talk about makeup. In a world where makeup is king. Does my eye look fat in this? What's on Kara's face? D's nuts. You're really an idiot. Hungry man. I'm so embarrassed.